All right. I'm driving to my house. Going home about 2 hours earlier here than usual because I'm gonna help take care of my son. Did we find out what the point of the video is? And today I'm gonna tell you the story about how I finally became an adult. Yeah! How do you know when you've become an adult? That's a question I've been asking myself for a very long time. In my life, I've seen a lot of things that certainly point towards me being an adult. We created a YouTube channel that was successful enough to grow, be more than a couple guys working in their apartment. Now a whole studio of at least 10 guys, all creating things they love. That's pretty adult-like. I finally bought my own home, which was crazy. Having a kid is supposed to make you like an adult. But at the same time, there's still plenty of things I do that point the other direction. I love staying up late. I love playing with Nerf guns and airsoft guns and shooting them in the office irresponsibly. I like to drive my car fast. I like shooting illegal fireworks. Love swinging out swords and maces out in the yard. So I'm trying to think, okay, well, I got these things that make me an adult, and I these things that kind of point away from it. And so I'm kind of going, all right, well, what is it? What is it exactly? I'm starting to realize it's not what you do that makes you an adult, it's how you do it.
So after watching Tactical Reloads, you probably think that I can basically juggle guns and reload them with my eyes shut and mags flying everywhere. Well, it turns out that's not true. So this is obviously an impossible physical feat.
Smoked. Twinsies.
We're going to reveal a little bit of the magic trick behind this video. Why we broke down the shots the way we did, how we actually did these shots, and how you can string these together in an edit to make it look like you're doing some incredible stuff. If you're trying to do impossible moves, break it down into doable parts. And for the few points where it gets really hard to figure out how you're going to hide something with a cut, when in doubt, just get really stylized, which is a great way to get around your weaknesses. Let's walk through it. In this video, I do a crazy reload. Take my gun, I launch the mag, flip a new one up in my hand, catch it, toss my gun in the air, do a 360, grab it like this, toss the mag, bounce off my knee, slam my gun onto the mag, toss the gun behind my back, catch it, and then I'm done. So this is obviously an impossible physical feat. Maybe if you practice for years you could do it, but I only had one day. So here's how we did it. Tossing the mag, easy enough. You just push the mag release, like flinging the gun forward. Sorry. Bless you. Thank you. That's an easy way to break a mag. So we actually had two dudes in the blanket standing right there, and I'm flinging the mag into the blanket, trying not to hit them. Next up, insert. What is an insert shot, Adrian?
An insert shot usually where you can concentrate on an action that you might have otherwise not seen. If you want to clearly show something, you'll grab an insert. For this specific moment, which is a close-up of Niko removing a mag from his belt strap, which cuts into another shot, flipping.
The important thing with a moment like this, there's a lot of things happening really fast. So in a way, you're repeating moments individually or focusing on moments individually that really help enhance the action. And it makes it move slower than it would in real life. Also, you'll notice that this shot cuts before I catch it. It's hard to catch.
We cut to another insert, and this specific shot, we were using black thread.
It's attached to the top with a little piece of black tape, so it's lowering into my hand, and I'm doing a very over-the-top, curling my fingers around it. So I toss the gun up in the air. Once again, notice we cut before it comes back down or anything else happens. In real life, I literally just throw the gun in the air and start spinning, and I just let it drop, hopefully not on my head. And then this shot, this shot works really well. It's a black string held taut, and we're just spinning the gun, and I'm literally just spinning underneath it as fast as I can, and that's all that's happening. It's the entire shot. And it's important to know your actions, like how you're getting into the shot and how you're getting out of the shot, so that you can be overlapping those actions to give you some editing room. So you'll notice I start to reach for it there, which makes it feel really natural when I catch it, and makes it feel like less of a cheat.
You always want to feel like you're continuing the motion into the next shot.
And you actually cut before I catch it too. So I catch the gun a little wonky and then it's really clean. I believe that shot I just started like this and went fake grab it. Two things when you're editing motion like this to keep in mind. The eye will be drawn to the thing that's moving the most in the shot. So if in one shot I'm starting to raise my hand and in the next shot I'm continuing to raise my hand, that will guide your eye. Other things don't even have to match exactly as long as that motion is continuing. You pay attention to where you're looking. In that one shot where I'm reaching up to catch the gun when it's on the string, I'm making eye contact with it. So in the next shot, I need to be looking at the same target. And you are using where I'm looking as a cue for where you should be looking. Because otherwise it's a little tiny black object on a dark background and it can be hard to follow. I toss the mag up and I actually knee it and
Oh, you did? I thought that was VFX.
No, this is real. I got as close as I could, and the idea is that we take that hard moment and make it the easiest it can be, which is to just go in slow motion. and just do that. Shall I recreate it?
Yeah, there. We did that.
Hold on, it was like this. Ready? And
Oh,
we literally did that. I basically held the gun there and Adrian just went like this.
So this flip here, if you want to watch how it looked before we cut it, here's the raw. Just tosses it. And we didn't really necessarily need him to catch it. We had a pad.
Pretty close, I might add, to actually
That was
catching it.
pretty, I mean, dude, that was really close.
Yeah.
And if you look, you can see how close we are to the ground. He was actually kneeling because we didn't want to ruin
You can see
the
my
gun.
boot.
Yeah,
I'm kneeling on the ground.
How did you get that shot though? You dropped
We
it
dropped
with the string,
it.
right?
No,
We
no
just
string.
dropped it
Just
into
dropped
his
it.
hand. He actually caught it.
Took me a couple tries. We could afford a couple tries when it's a small move like that. And the reason we're low is so that when I missed it, it didn't break.
And that's kind of how the whole thing went down.
Yeah. So if you're trying to do impossible moves, break it down into doable parts. And the hard things like catching something, I guess, or like being a really precise landing of something, save those for inserts or cutaways. And just make sure your motion is moving into it and out of it correctly. And for the few points where it gets really hard to like figure out how you're gonna hide something with a cut, like the magazine going into the gun, when in doubt, just get really stylized, which is a great way to get around your weaknesses.
And always treat guns like they're loaded. Jesus.
All right. I kind of feel like we're approaching some decisions we have to make here. My time is starting to get very, very divided. We're talking about movies. We're talking about The Beast. How do we accomplish this? The script for The Beast done. We're going to start making it. But at the same time, things on YouTube are picking up faster than ever. We have Clint, we have Adrian in the office. They're so talented. In one place being a goal I had 8 years ago to make an independent feature film. And the other goal, which is, well, we built this successful YouTube studio that's just churning out awesome videos. And I want to be a part of both. 8 years ago, we started making YouTube videos and it went pretty well. But after doing them for 8 years, we know making videos like we know the backs of our hands at this point. Just last week, filmed a video that we planned and scripted the night before. We had some figuring out to do on set, but I was pretty comfortable going into it because I knew we've been here before, we've done this process and things will go well. But how do I say this? As an artist, you face struggles. You're in a creative space, and when you are kind of defined by how creative you can get, the more you do one thing over and over and over again, well, it starts to kind of impede a little bit on that creativity. I want to make this very clear, very, very clear, because this might come off the wrong way. I want to make this very clear. YouTube is our life, because ultimately you are special. And what we have going on here, this is incredible, and anyone who would abandon this or give this up is a complete moron. What I'm talking about adding more fruit to the table that you share with us.
The world is a big and scary place. It's okay to be unsure. It's okay to not know what you're doing 5, 10, 50 years from now. That can change and evolve and morph into something even better than what you expected. Of course, everybody wants to be happy and everybody wants to be successful. What defined all of my decisions, like being 22 and moving to LA, it's not about defining or like going after what makes you happy. It's defining your deal breakers. Now I'm at like my peak happiness, realizing that like, you take every day at a time, everything at a time. You know, everything is temporary. You would never know what makes you happy if you don't figure out what doesn't work for you.
Exactly.
How I felt when we got married was I had a really humbling moment. Like we woke up the next morning, had like a fantastic night. You were there.
The wedding. She's talking about the wedding.
You were at the wedding.
He was at the wedding.
Yeah, you were at the wedding.
That was that part of that night.
It is a humbling feeling to realize that somebody just committed to spend their life with you. My expectations for what our baby would be like, I mean, I thought he would be more of a baby, and I thought that I would be like running the show. He arrives and it turns out that like he's your boss and you're just doing the best you can.
Fun fact about babies. We all used to be babies. A lot of you guys probably don't care much about babies, and I agree. You don't get babies and the family life stuff until it really happens to you, so whatever. But all you parents out there and people with babies, you get it. It's awesome. Babies are sweet. His accountability and responsibility right now is at an all-time low. All he's got to do is stay alive. I mean, I think the only thing he's capable of doing by him. Oh, a little smile. Yeah, that's right. This is something I'm proud of. Yeah. Helga. He's pretty amped. The one thing he does really, really well by himself is he poops his pants by himself. All by himself. He just poops and pees, and it never ends. I'm talking about you. I'm proud of you. Anyways, when I moved to Los Angeles in 2009 to kind of start my big career, my expectations were kind of like, all right, gotta figure this whole thing out. We're gonna make movies. I gotta get a girlfriend. It's the whole thing. I'm sitting there, just a young dude, early 20s in LA. Honestly, I had really no idea how my personal life was gonna go alongside this whole like movie making career, because I was just playing that by ear. But I met Sarah. We hit it off. It was great. Suddenly we're like boyfriend and girlfriend, and now suddenly we're getting married, and like I'm just like, this is not how I was expecting this to go. Getting married and stuff like it's been incredible, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And now suddenly, baby Gideon is in our lives, and he's the best, and he's so cool, and I have the highest hopes and dreams for him. But before we had baby Gideon, whatever, you want to do something, you go out and do it. There's nothing stopping you. The only people we had to worry about were ourselves. There wasn't this feeling of like true accountability, because suddenly, no, when you have a child, didn't really realize we would have to change our life and start making our decisions with our new family in mind. How do we make decisions that really benefit everyone here? So like this morning, I wake up and I'm like, okay, well, here's the things I got to do. I have some free time here between all my chores and taking care of the baby. It's like, do I play a video game for 20 minutes? Like, how is that going to affect everything? Well, if I do this, will I not be able to clean the dishes? And if I don't do the dishes, I have to go to work, and then Sarah's gonna have to do them in the middle of the day while juggling the baby. Like, oh my, see, it's like suddenly, it's like this whole like ripple. Wait a minute, baby Gideon? Did we find out what the point of the video is? Did we realize what it means to be an adult? Being an adult is all about being accountable for every decision you make, because you know that it's going to affect everyone around you. Like Sarah, or baby Gideon, or baby Nick and Carmichael. Am I an adult?
Sometimes. Yes.
Dang it.
Keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. And wait, tell me what you do. Jack, do. Keep it up. Shit, sorry. It's not locking. Smoked. Adrian! Smoked. Alright, vocalize as much. And action.